Hello, my friends. I'm doing something. Something's brewing here. I'm excited. So today we're going to recreate that soft teal look. I'll go get that. Let me show it to you in green screen. That's what I'm saying. This look right here. I'm gonna show you how to do that. It's pretty simple. And let me find. Okay, I found that because this is important. We'll get to that in a second. I'm just making sure I didn't put it away. Because I do remember what I did. I do. Oh, we got this. We can do it. You know what's interesting? I can recreate others. Say I'm recreating a look that another makeup artist did on a celebrity, on a model. But when it comes to recreating my own looks again, I can't do it. I'm gonna try. So I started with this. I love these, by the way, but I use this particular color. It's a little bit darker than some of the other liquid shadows I have, but it's still in that warm tone. So what I did is I took a fluffy brush and I'm just gonna work that into my socket. It's okay if it gets on the lid. It got on the lid last time. I do remember that. Y'all hear this snoring? Okay, that's about right. Just gonna make sure this side's nice and even as well. And then we're gonna blur the top with powder foundation. We're not there yet. Now take powder foundation and I'm gonna press that on the brow bone just to make sure that it looks a little bit more full coverage. There we go. All the way over this way. And then we still gotta transition just a little bit more with one of the shades from the palette. Back into this palette again. I really enjoy this one. So we're gonna take that shade on the tip of the brush and we're gonna transition and blur. And I'm using, it's important that I'm telling you where I'm picking this up because we have more impact. We can cover more space and really pack that on with the tip of this brush. But I'm also getting a little bit of a diffused look by using the tip. If I wanted to really pack it on, I would use the side. See how I picked it up on the side? But I want it to be a little bit more diffused, so I'm gonna pick it up on the tip of the brush and just make sure this is nice and transitioned. By the way, look at this. You can buy any brush or tool. Tool means puff. And then you can get 25% off the next one. So you could get the C42 and then you could get the C41. 25% off, and you could get a brush for yourself and then you could get a brush for somebody else, or you could get 2 brushes for yourself. But yeah, I'm going to leave you the link. Now we're going to switch to a much smaller brush because we're going to switch over into darker shades. And I've talked about this palette yesterday. These are basically pressed pigments and these are going to get out of control very quickly, but that's a good thing. We want that. But to keep it under control and to make sure we don't apply too much, then panic and overblend and it become patchy, we're gonna switch to a much smaller brush. We're using that E27 today. And I'm just gonna stamp this on the outer corner first. I'm gonna pick up some more, but I'm gonna pick it up only on the center of the brush. That way I can stamp it above and transition out of the socket. And that's gonna create that depth. And this is such a good hooded eye look. Now it's on the center of the brush and I'm just going to stamp it over towards this inner part of the eye. But notice that it's mainly in the socket. I want it to creep out only a little bit. I also want to let you know that fallout is going to be completely normal with this type of pressed pigment. I know I'm repetitive. These are very pigmented, and that might sound like I'm telling you that's such a good thing, but sometimes I remember the days of YouTube, everyone was always like, oh, just look for crazy pigment, the most pigment. Do you want to know why nobody really enjoyed the Subculture palette? Remember the Subculture palette? Because it was like this. It was this pigmented. It was very pigmented. And some people didn't understand that there are certain ways to work with a pressed pigment like this. I love that Subculture palette. I just want you to know the difference in formulas. Say this Viseart palette here, this is an eyeshadow. It's very pigmented, but then it's still not a pressed pigment. And that's why it's so important to know the difference. So when we get things, we don't panic and then we don't hate it. We learn to work with it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up just a little bit of the lid space. It doesn't have to be a perfectly carved cut crease, but this is important. I'm gonna be using that beautiful teal color. And if I go over this more brown, fallout, muddy area, it's going to muddy that beautiful color. And then it won't look the way I want it to look. And don't be afraid of micellar water, because once it completely dries down, we can just put base right underneath it. Or right on top of it, I'm sorry. I'm zoning out. Okay, that looks good. Let's grab our Milk Makeup base here. Apply a little bit of that. Same amount over here, just a little bit. I did wipe off the edge, I didn't show you that. The amount that comes out on the wand on this is way too much. And then I'm still going to grab my C31 and I'm going to make sure that it's even, because this type of matte going on top of a very wet base and a not evened out base is going to cause chaos. It's going to become kind of wet and maybe too pigmented in one area, patchy in another. So just make sure that the base is really even. I don't want to scare you, but just taking a brush and just tapping and making sure that it's even is going to make a world of difference. Now for the fun part. So I did lighten it a little bit, okay? But we're not there yet. I'm going to grab this shade and then I'm just going to pack it onto my lid. And like I mentioned before, don't worry, it's not really a perfect half cut crease situation, so just kind of tap it over this edge a little bit. Just make sure it's nice and set and pressed in. I'm going to finish this side. Okay. And then I just grabbed a cream color shadow. It doesn't have to be this palette, but I did grab that and then I tap that on top. And then I'm going to wipe my brush off because this is crazy pigmented. That cream color is so pigmented. And then I'm just going to tap it and lighten it just a little bit. Perfect. There you go. But then we still have the eggplant shade. So the next thing, we gotta grab our E27 again, throw stuff around. Then I grabbed this shade in the center of the brush, and then I just kind of stamped it at an angle on our lid. And then I took it just right here. And when I say right here, I just mean on that little bit of visible part. And then I took it all the way over and started to soften it. Oh, Jean is just up and moving around. There we go. Bring it over this way. Now I'm taking the side of the brush and I'm just tapping to soften that a little bit while Jean takes a bath. I don't know why he insists on taking a bath while I film these tutorials. Now the next thing I did was just take some of this black and I just stamped on a little wing with my E27. There you go. Now we're going to take micellar water again on our C30, start to clean up. Libre lashes, we're doing style number 4. I think style number 4 is my favorite. Then I added the tiniest amount of black liner just here on the very edge. And I added some to the front. Then I did a little bit of this. I love this. These are from Stila, and I just put a little bit right here on the inner corner. And this other end is actually a darker blue. And then this is that really pretty pastel situation. Love these. I'm gonna hop off really quickly. I'm gonna come back, and what I'm gonna go film is how to create your own tinted moisturizer, because tinted moisturizers are not long lasting. They're not. But I'm gonna go film that, and I'm gonna show you how to get a long lasting tinted moisturizer using what you might already have. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's get our bronzer on. The concealer is gonna be a secret till about January, I think. But Ben just walked in and he sees my makeup looks every single day, multiple makeup looks, and he's like, hey, what concealer is that? And I'm like, oh, well, it's this. And he's like, that looks amazing. So apparently this looks really, really good, and I think so too. But this is only my second time to try the concealer, the secret concealer. So We'll have to see, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to talk about it in January. And I'm using my Mauve bronzer today. I've missed it. Ooh, that looks good. Oh, and I forgot. Underneath here, I went in with an E27 and the tiniest amount of the dark brown here. That one right there. And then I just smudged it, just a smidge with that shade. And then again, I have that tinted moisturizer mixture on, and I'm gonna do a wear test because I don't want you to think that mixing skincare, as long as it's a serum, mixing that in and creating your own tinted moisturizer is not going to wear well. I find that most tinted moisturizers don't wear well, and that mixing your favorite long wearing, just make sure your foundation says long wear on the bottle, and then mixing that with a serum, like what you'll see in the video, that lasts perfectly. But I am documenting it. So we're doing a wear test right now. I haven't used this blush in a while, and I really do love this formula. I'm just always trying new things, but these are quite blurring. This one, we're gonna build it up just a little bit more. There we go. Let's take this thing out. Hey! Hey, that could actually be like a really cool editorial look. That would be kind of cool. Okay, let's get this under control. So the other day we were talking about how we were looking for a dupe for MAC Saint Germain. Mine is so old that it's going to separate. It's old, it's expired. Let's not even go there. But I keep things for references. So one of you mentioned, and I thought about it too, was this gloss from Give. And yes, it's very close. That's Candy, but that's Saint Germain. And what we're seeing there is what we're actually seeing at the bottom here in that separation. We're seeing a lot more white in that one. Now what we could do is we could get a white gloss. I know NYX has this one, super affordable. And then let's put it next to Bubbly. Hopefully this is wide enough. I still don't feel like that's going to be wide enough. It might take it over there. It's taking it more into that territory, but then it kind of thins it out. I'll keep experimenting, but do keep in mind what you are missing in there. I'm going to mix it here a little bit better. What we're missing is the white. Saint Germain just had so much white in it in the best way. So we're still looking for that perfect dupe. You go right here, take a little nap. So what I think I want to do today is, not one word. I loved these, and I wanted to get the shade Bear. I want to get the actual matte. Is this the velvet? Because I love the velvet. Yes, the velvet liquid lipstick, but I want to get this in the shade Kylie as well. This is one of my favorites. Okay, I wanted a fresh one, and I love them. So this isn't the liquid lipstick one. This is more, I'm going to deal with this in a second. In fact, I'm going to put it behind my ear. It'll kind of soften it. But this is the velvet. So this one it's still very long lasting, but it doesn't dry down. And the way that I like to apply them, I'm going to do a tutorial for that. Okay, so we're going to go in with the actual lipstick first. And this is basically my lips, but better. But then the lip liner adds that definition that I'm after. I'm so excited. I'm so happy I bought this again. There we go. See that? I used to wear this one and Kylie, the actual shade Kylie, all the time. I feel super comfortable. I don't think I did this the other day. You don't have to, obviously. Let's put that same periwinkle shade, just a flash of it right there. Like it's very brightening. Okay, so there's no longer a bath being taken, but there is a treat being devoured by Douglas behind me. Is it a wolf? Is it Douglas? I can't tell the difference. All right, we are all done. This might be the new way that I do my skin. This looks pretty awesome. That looks so good to me. I love it. Okay, all that being said, tomorrow I'm going to switch it up. We're going to talk about advent calendars. I'm going to show the P. Louise one, and then I was going to show the Kiko Milano one, and we'll kind of decide which one that we like better. And then Thursday we'll do, I don't think I've tried a whole lot of new stuff, but we'll just do a really simple look with the stuff that I've tried and have enjoyed. Or maybe we'll use some stuff from the advent calendar. We'll just kind of switch it up a little bit. But tomorrow we won't do a makeup tutorial. I don't even think it would allow that many stories, so we'll just look at the advent calendars tomorrow. I thought that'd be fun. I want to look at them. I don't know what I want to post tonight, but I'll post something. I might repost one of my undertone videos. I might do that. I really like this look, and I hope that y'all like this look, because when I posted it, y'all went wild. So there's the recreation. I love you all so much. In case nobody's told you today, I love you. And I will see you in the comments tonight.